Have you ever wondered why, despite throwing yourself into work every day and sacrificing your health and time for your family, you still feel lonely and misunderstood? Why, no matter how hard you try, you feel unappreciated, even controlled and hurt within the closest relationships? Christina Hoff Sommers, a philosopher and profound researcher on gender issues, has warned of a painful truth few dare to face. Many men are suffering deep emotional wounds that are hidden and largely ignored by society. This is not just an injustice, but a silent crisis threatening the mental well-being and lives of countless men. Today's video on Shining Mirror-LVB will help you gain a deeper understanding of this issue. Reveal how society imposes misguided norms that force men to suffer in silence. And most importantly, show you how to recognize and break free from this painful cycle to live a freer, stronger, and happier life. Men's silence and a society that doesn't hear. Modern society still ingrains the rigid stereotype that men must be unbreakable pillars, forbidden from showing any sign of weakness or pain. This invisible pressure constructs a thick wall of silence around men's souls. When they suffer profound wounds from work stress, personal conflicts, or emotional abuse, they often choose silence and solitude, as if it were an unspoken law of survival. Christina Hoff Sommers calls this selective empathy, a tragic phenomenon where society glorifies women's pain and focuses all its empathy there, while men's suffering is forgotten, ignored to near invisibility. Men are silenced within their own pain, not only deprived of sharing but stripped by society of their right to be heard and understood. This silence is not merely a gap between men and the outside world, but a profound separation from themselves. Unable to express or be embraced, men gradually lose their inner voice. Their true strength turns into a heavy burden of loneliness. This weakens individual psyches and fuels a hidden social crisis, where the forgotten men become lonely shadows in their own lives. The harsh truth about emotional abuse: when love isn't always love. Emotional abuse doesn't always wear the obvious masks of physical violence or shouting. It's invisible wounds that creep deep into the soul through relentless criticism, unrealistic expectations cloaked as love and false care. It can be the harsh silence, the sweet gestures laden with cold calculation and cruelty to the bone. This is a subtle, silent violence society often ignores or lacks the courage to confront. Christina Hoff Sommers has warned that some women exploit love as a tool of power, turning everyday actions into invisible chains, making men workhorses, machines controlled and exploited until their identity and inner strength are stripped away. Men trapped in this spiral convince themselves it's responsibility, it's the sacrifice of love, but in reality, they're losing their freedom, their power, and themselves. It is society's indifference and silence that allow emotional abuse to spread, slowly killing men's faith, dignity, and happiness day by day. This is a silent battle, a profound mental crisis that, if left unrecognized and unchallenged, leads to devastating consequences not only for individuals but for society as a whole. Social stigmas and their devastating consequences. Society has erected impenetrable walls of stigma, boxing men into the roles of stoic strength and silent endurance. When a man dares to voice his pain or trauma, instead of empathy, he often faces ridicule, branded as weak, troublemaker, or even blamed for his own suffering. This is a brutal psychological assault, a form of social violence largely unacknowledged. These stigmas don't just silence men, they isolate them completely, trapping them in a shadow of loneliness and despair. Society's refusal to recognize men's pain makes confronting emotional abuse almost impossible, leaving them ensnared in a vicious cycle of trauma with no apparent escape. The fallout extends far beyond severe mental health decline to the breakdown of social and familial bonds. Men cornered in this dead end lose themselves and contribute to a simmering social crisis, where their silence becomes a hidden threat to the community at large. How to recognize and break the cycle of pain. The undeniable truth is, you are not weak for feeling tired, for craving respect, rest, and genuine love. These are natural instincts, essential parts of human growth and inner strength. You have the right to set clear boundaries, to say no to unfair treatment, and most importantly, to live a happy life. valued as a whole individual, not merely as a resource or possession of anyone. The key is learning to recognize the subtle signs of emotional control, excessive criticism that makes you doubt yourself, deliberate silence meant to manipulate, unreasonable demands, and the feeling that you must always concede to keep peace. Once you see these signs, you open the door to stepping out of the painful cycle. Only when you have the courage to face the truth can you begin the journey of healing, rebuilding your strength, and reclaiming yourself, a free, powerful version worthy of complete love. What do you think about the stories shared today? Have you recognized yourself or those around you trapped in that painful cycle? Don't choose silence. Courageously share your thoughts in the comments below, because only when our voices are heard can the story begin to change. If this video has broadened your perspective and brought value to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Shining Mirror-LVB. Together, we will build a community of strong, free, and respected men, those who relentlessly fight for their lives and happiness. Life is not meant to be a series of silent sufferings. You deserve happiness, respect, and genuine love. Start today for yourself and the men around you.